I bend down and grab Paul by the hair, pulling his face up to mine. Better start your sacrament of confession. Dare's movement catches my eye, and I turn my face to him. He's standing with 2 switchblades, one glinting in each hand. "You crazy bitch." He spits at me, and I grin. Fuck the paperwork. I'll apologize to my therapist later. Right now, I'm going to blow off some steam and get rid of the molten aggression that's threatening to boil my blood. Now. I sigh and straighten my spine, turning my body to face him with one foot planted slightly in front of the other. Name-calling is a sign of low emotional intelligence, Dare. I move quickly, fingers sliding to the edge of the hilt and pulling back only to let my wrist snap forward in one fluid motion. The blade lands with a wet thump, buried to the hilt in Dare's throat. He drops with a muffled gurgle, blood bubbling from his lips and staining his dingy white shirt crimson. "Holy shit!" The muscled man pants behind me, and I turn to see him trying to push himself to his feet, ready to make a run for it. "You're fucking insane." "Certifiable," I agree, with a slight tilt of my head. My therapist says I need a better outlet, but... I walk over, pluck the knife free from Dare, then head towards Muscles. I have a thing for blood.
"I'm not leaving yet," I said with a shrug. She smirked.
I know that look. That swoony, heart-squeezy, panty-melting, googly eyes. You'll be gone by the end of the weekend.
"Truth? I want to go. Right now. I appreciate you so much, Jeannie, but being there just feels right."
"I feel another but coming,"
she said before taking another sip of coffee. Shaking my head, I said, "I can't put my finger on it, but something feels off, and I worry if I go back now, things will go right back the way they were." Jeannie put her mug down and pulled mine from my hand and set it next to hers. Grabbing me by the shoulders, she looked me in the eye.
"That won't happen. You know how I know?"
My head shook, but she continued.
"Because you found your voice, realized your worth, and know you have options. You're unstoppable now, and I feel sorry for any man who tries to defy you."
Pulling her in, I let out a ragged breath. Tears filled my eyes, but instead of sadness, I felt relief. Jeannie's words were what had been buried deep inside, and I was scared to acknowledge. But she was right. I stood up for myself, and I'd do it again if necessary. And while I knew it would crush me if things didn't work out with him, I would be fine eventually. I was stronger than I wanted to admit. Going into Vegas feels different this time. Sure, we've talked about how we can't do anything dumb, like sleeping in the same bed together again, but I can still feel a tension that wasn't there before. Also, why am I so disappointed that I won't wake up in his arms again? Girl, get a grip, I tell myself for the umpteenth time since boarding the plane. We've tried that relationship thing before, and it wasn't pretty or cute. It was a disaster. It was a solid 1-star experience. Just because he's older, tattooed, and I'm in a dry spell does not justify considering anything. Although, would it be so bad to blow off some steam with him? No promises, just sex. He's not bad at it, and I know he's good at the no-strings-attached thing. Walking out into the dry Vegas heat, I look for the driver with my name card like last time. No one is waiting for me, I realize on a sigh. Cool. Fine. Thanks, Kane. I pull out my phone, intending to call my own Uber. Kane. Look to your left. I scowl at my phone. What is he talking about?
I look left and see him standing beside a silver car, dark aviators glinting in the sun. The corner of his mouth kicks up, and he motions me over with 2 fingers. The breath whooshes out of my lungs, because no matter how pissed I am at him, that look just does something. Dancing with my broom, sipping from the bottle that is now following along with me, I sweep and gather the mess. The pile is bigger than I thought it would be, so I use the dustpan and scoop it into a huge bowl I used once for a potluck dinner potato salad. The junk drawer offers me the option of matches or a lighter. Going for dramatic flair, I pocket the matches. Swirling a blanket off the back of the couch like a cape over my shoulders, I grab my bottle and head back for the tree. My apartment was once a 2-story house, so we do have a yard. In the middle is a fire pit with those leaning chairs that I can't pronounce for the life of me. I drag the sad tree to the circle of stone and stand it in the middle. The lights and tinsel are dripping off like slept-in clip-on hair extensions. I walk back for the bowl, picking up ornaments as I go. I pile it around the plastic stand the tree is fastened in, and stand back to check out my handiwork. I toast the tree before splashing some of the now half-empty bottle on the base and pull the small box of matches from my pocket. I can still hear my music and can't help singing along, cackling over the line about burning the tree. With a flair that would have made my drama teacher proud, I strike the match and set it to the needles. I cleanse you from my life, Bryce Hayne, Lusk, whatever your name is. Swirling my blanket cape, dancing and singing along with Linnea, I circle the blazing tree. Who knew that one little pine tree could put off that much heat? Let me guess. You married the wrong guy young, and it turned into a revolving door of pain and apologies? Eileen chuckled in amusement. Looks like blunt honesty runs in the family. I spent enough of my life lying to family, friends, and myself about what happened in my house. Now I just speak the truth. Can I ask you something? A curious grin reached all the way to Jill's eyes. Sure. Why did you keep his last name? When Jill's eyebrows shot up and Tim stiffened beside her, panic tore through Eileen's chest. Sorry, you do not have to answer that. No, it's fine. Most people don't have the balls to ask. Jill turned her smile on Tim. I really like her. Once Tim nodded with a lopsided grin, Jill shifted her gaze back to Eileen. My husband disappeared. It's been over 7 years, and the court declared him legally dead, so I could go back to my maiden name, but... For the first time since they'd met, a haunted expression dimmed her brightness to a flicker. Sometimes it feels like I dreamt the whole thing, or like the memories belong to someone else, you know? Jill's misty eyes searched Eileen's, as if looking for a kindred spark. Yeah, like it happened in a past life. The tension left Jill's shoulders, and she smiled, the light returning to her features. Anyway, I never want to forget it happened. Forgetting means giving someone else the opportunity to fool me again. Why not? Tell me why! I demanded as tears streamed down my face. He yanked me off the floor by my wrists, and we were eye to eye as I dangled. Because I'm not who you think I am. I don't care. I don't know why, but I don't care. You saved me. You brought me here, and I want you more than I've ever wanted anything in my life. Tell me why. Tears came hard and fast as I begged. I hadn't felt emotions like that since my parents died. Why was I reacting this way? I'm a monster, Eve. His brows pinched with confusion as my eyes widened and a smile spread over my face. It was you! I didn't imagine that! My voice was shrill. I thought I was going crazy or hit my head too hard, but I didn't. You were him.
The thing that saved me! My tears of desperation turned to tears of joy. He lowered me to the ground, then took a few steps back. I moved to close the gap between us until he was backed against the wall. Please don't move away from me. I need to touch you. I knew it was you.
Eve, you only feel this way because of my scent. I can't let you do something you'll regret.
What do you mean we just know? Know what?
Eve, don't.
I balled my fist and hit his chest. Tell me. If you won't have me, then tell me why. Tell me why you said I was yours. I need to know, Rusty.
You're my mate.
I gasped, his scent overpowering me again, and I moved closer. If that's true, then why won't you?
Because you're human. You won't want a monster,
he growled. Putting my nose to his chest again, I breathed him in. Rusty, since I saw you that way, that's all I've been able to think about. If I'm your mate, why would you think I'd reject you? I ran my hands over his chest, then started to bunch it up so I could put my hands on his skin. He inhaled deeply again.
You deserve better.
Rusty, you're not a monster. You saved me from one. This place, you, it all feels like home. What can I do to prove it to you? His hand finally lifted, cupping my jaw.
I'm afraid. What if I hurt you?
I pressed my face further into his huge hand. You won't.
You should not trust your digger. They are all the same.
The disembodied voice of who I think must be royal returns. In the strange interaction I just shared with the ghost, I just spoke to a ghost. I had forgotten all about her. It is my business which wolves I allow to take a bite of me. Being in the thicket has made me bolder and braver, even if I don't always remember it. If Royal reveals herself to be a monster of some variety, I might regret such a haughty response. From the mists, a new dark figure emerges. She is female, that much is clear from her shape, but she bears no features I can make out. She is just a silhouette of mists in a slightly darker shade of gray than the rest.
Fine. Your wolf is more interesting than most.
I wish to ask her why she thinks such a thing, but I bite my tongue. There are more pressing matters at hand. She starts walking away from me, her feet of billowing mist leaving no tracks on the damp woodland floor. I chase after her like my fear of her doesn't exist. Time is ticking away. I'm becoming more lost by the second. There is something I need to do, something I can't remember. But Royal might. She might hate Fallow, but I don't hate him, and he brought me to her because he thought she might help. I will not allow this opportunity to pass me by. Wait! Are you Royal? If you are not, can you lead me to her? I still wish to find the witch. It could be foolish, but there is only one way to know anything in this place, and that is by charging forth. The depths of puddles can only be gauged by stomping through them.